Thank God for this one, hooker junkie, or I would be in jail for a long time. Dealer's story. It's Canada Day, and everyone where I live during Canada Day we walk around the boardwalk. It's the largest city located entirely around 2 lakes. So if you really want to, you can find out where I live. I'm around 18 to 20 during this event. Anyway, I dealt with every drug you can think of other than cocaine, because they will rob you and not care. Heroin addicts can't afford to rip off a good dealer, or they will regret it when they can't get shit and puking their brains out from being dope sick. If I could turn one into two, I would not matter what drug other than coke. I had an Oz/weed, 1.5 gram shroom cubes of chocolate, ecstasy, 100 milligrams morphine pills, LSD, ketamine. Before I went to the boardwalk to party, I stopped at the open-air drug market, where my normal prices are deals to these idiots who buy dope downtown, in the park across from the police headquarters, just like Vancouver's downtown east side. Anyway, this huge drunk native guy starts hitting on this super hot girl I always wanted to fuck. I did manage to years later. Crazy story, I'll tell that one too sometime. I saved a kitten in that story too. Seriously, the native guy is aggressively hitting on her and then just grabs her tits. Well, there are like 4 huge guys with me waiting to buy dope, and he molested her right in front of us. My one buddy wound up and cracked him in the head so hard his head bounced off the cement retaining wall behind him, knocking him out, and he fell and broke his ankle horribly. I, out of all people, call 911 for him. The fucking drug dealer calls 911. They get there and are trying to help this old drunk native out while myself and 2 friends rob the ambulance like off the wire, and just like on the show The Wire, we got caught. I booked it and got away. Imagine being caught for taking $5 worth of morphine when I had 100 milligrams morphine pills on me. I don't steal ever, I just got caught up in it, and yeah, I'm glad I never got caught and got away and never stole again, other than the time I was forced to rob one of my dealers for a heroin debt after I got robbed. Well, that would make another great story for here. Anyway, after running away, I met up with my best friend, the only one still alive to this day, and we walked to the Canada Day celebrations on the boardwalk. I ate 6 grams of mushrooms, 4/1.5 g chocolate cubes, and 4 hits of ecstasy all at once. Those amounts seem high, but I had massive tolerance back then. I did that shit twice a week. We are walking around having run, tripping, meeting up with people, and selling more shrooms. I go to a small area with trees to cover, and it's already filled with people doing drugs. So I kinda had to bust out the ketamine in front of everyone. We each take a nice line, and then I turn to see some fucking asshole who is going to try and rob me. This guy, who has the same name as my dead brother, first and last, just like my brother, used to rip me off quite a bit, so I knew I shouldn't have trusted this guy, lol. Anyway, he's like, I want a cue of weed, and I only brought an Oz perso, but hell, I can't resist the money. I'm literally Jewish, not a joke. I take out the weed, and he tried to grab the whole Oz and run away, and I got an iron grip. I'm small, but try and get anything worth money out of my hand without a huge struggle. I'm too cheap to let you win. I would rather smash the weed into the dirt than let some fucking loser rip me off. Anyway, the guy sees the cops and starts running towards them screaming, drug dealer, he's trying to sell me drugs. Not only is he a loser who can't afford his own dope, he's a goddamn rat. Ratting me out for something he wants himself. Well, I crotched everything and then jammed it up my bum. By now I was rolled up in a ball on the side of the lake, and cops are there in helicopters, boats, and on quads. If this was GTA, I got like 4 stars, lol. I didn't get caught with anything other than my bong, which couldn't fit up my ass, lol, like everything else. They made me smash it in front of them. I couldn't, it was too well made, lol. So the cop just chucks it into the lake, no kidding. If I did that, I would have got a ticket for polluting, but we all know cops are above the law, right? Fucking assholes. They give my buddy and me a ride home and go on a rant about PCP and how our weed use will lead to it, LMAO. I'm sitting there with cubes of chocolate shrooms melting in my ass, lol. I get back to a friend's house and take everything out. It's all melted and gross. I cleaned it all off and sold everything for cheap other than the E and morphine, since they were in a film case in my bum, and came out fine. Next story I can do: when my mom and I found my brother dead, the time I got stabbed downtown by a drunk native, the time I was forced to rob a nice person and all-around good drug dealer because I was robbed and in serious debt and had no choice, time I got robbed in Detroit as a tourist, the time I bought $50K worth of opioids off someone who robbed a pharmacy for under $3K. The time I got robbed for $3K worth of dope, and it took 4 people beating me 20 minutes to give up the dope. Time I got robbed for $5K in fentanyl patches. The time I got robbed for $36K. Wait, I told that one. All the dead bodies I have found. All the lives I have saved with Narcan, or just whatever story pops up in my mind. Ha, like the time I had to hoop 100 clonazepam without a bag because the driver lied about hooping his and it was either jail or 100 up the bum lol. With a deadly amount of 80 milligrams oxys, but I wrapped them in a Tim Hortons bag and jammed them up there. Oh god, watching people smoke oxy with my shit filled and scored 80 markings. UGH.